The moment we had a baby, I wanted to name her as Agni, which in Sanskrit means Mother Earth, because I wanted to have sense of belongingness same towards Mother Nature as like I am to my daughter. The happiest vlog is the vlog wherein there are hundreds of people who get into a walk and a jog and don't find any trash and come back happily saying, "Hey, we didn't find any trash." For that to happen, we need to do multiple vlogs. So I use those jingles and lines and then put them into posters. I think that was the best way of reaching out to many of them. I think creating fun in sustainability platform. I give you classic examples of many bloggers in our team. More than 50 plus blogs. They don't carry any disposables. They create change in their own office levels.
What is RobinHood Army? What is it like to be a Robin?
The beauty over is, one is just you need to spend your quality time and you'll get abundance of joy because you are reaching out to the less fortunate people. You are reaching out to them, understanding their problems and make them smile just by giving food. And the sustainability angle in this is something which I'm really proud about because you are ensuring that food is not going waste. You are ensuring that resources are not going waste. Now from Plog Raj to Plog Raj, the journey has been amazing. From the guy who used to sell a lot of plastic bottles to the guy who is literally away from the plastic. I think the journey has been incredible, I would say.
Hello and welcome to GoGreenGuru Sustainability in Action. I'm your host Ananya Sangameshwar. Please subscribe to our channel to support our work and continue to stay in touch with us. Today we're going to talk about volunteering, the spirit of volunteering, the small acts of service that we can be a part of to make a difference in our communities and to grow as a person in the journey. We have with us today an ordinary but a really inspiring person, G Nagaraj, also called Plog Raj, Plogman, Cupman, and he's a Robin. He's going to share with us his many experiences plogging, spreading smiles, and connecting the green dots. So, do tune in to learn about how volunteering can be so much fun as well. Hello Nagaraj sir, a very warm welcome to Go Green Guru. I'm so glad to have you here. So please tell me your story. I'd love to know more about you. And what does sustainability mean to you?
It's been a journey of 10 years now, roughly, in fact, 11 years to be precise. I would say it was just a normal story. Initially, when we started, it was just me and my daughter. So basically, I was getting from a cycling activity, and then I saw a couple of people cleaning up Vincent Manor Bridge. Out of my own curiosity, I just asked them what is that they're doing. Then they said they were painting the walls of Vincent Manor Bridge. I asked them, why is that you're doing? They simply, in a simple, normal language, they just said, if the place is clean, you feel like keeping it clean, and if the place is dirty, you feel like dirtying it more. This is something which we all know, but for whatever reasons, something coming from his uh, language, his tone made me. It was like literally an eye opener for me. And then said, if he can do that, why not us? That's when that instant thought of doing something for Mother Nature is what struck me. And I would say that small incident was more like a game changer for me. That's when I decided I'm going to spend some quality time for volunteering and all that stuff. Otherwise, I used to work for a beverage company. I was into marketing, so even when we go for outing, we used to see lots and lots of disposables being littered, tourist spots, and all that stuff. But it was hardly, noticed by each one of us. I was just ignoring it. Out of my own curiosity, on one of the treks, we just cleared up a little few bottles and then we took a picture of it. And then instantly it became famous, and especially in our office circle. And then suddenly it was too good. It was we who licked it, but then we only picked it up. Probably that was again an instant wherein we thought, simple things like this will make a big difference. And then we forgot about it. So almost 2 3 years we didn't do anything about it. But then that was constantly in my mind. We are literally creating trash every day, and then we're not acting on it. That instance, of having a kid changed my entire life, I would say, both professionally and personally. The moment we had a baby, I wanted to name her as Avni, which in Sanskrit means Mother Earth, because I wanted to have sense of belongingness same towards Mother Nature as like I have to my daughter. Every day I look at her, every day I see her, I feel like okay, I'm connected to Mother Nature as well. Probably that was one big game changer, I would say, when I had more commitment towards family and at the same time more commitment towards mother. That's how the journey started.
That's a beautiful story, and I can see how your daughter Avni is also actively a part of all these environmental
Yes.
campaigns, and it's so sweet and inspiring and encouraging to see that
Yep.
translate. Yeah. So you do a lot of things. You do plogging. You're a part of RobinHood Army. We'll talk about each of these in some detail, so that because I want to talk about the idea of volunteering, right? So we are all citizens in our city. We go about our own lives, but if we actually engage in some of these simple acts of service, simple volunteering things, it can really make a difference in our lives. So let's talk
Yeah.
about these in detail. So someone who wants to try these out also can, learn about it. So
Yeah.
let's talk about blogging. What is blogging really, and what's the origin of it?
Okay. To go with, about blogging and all that. Before that, I want to share a couple of incidents. So initially, it was just me and couple of times even my daughter. We used to go for volunteering activities and all that stuff. I saw a big change in attitude of people who were coming for those kind of activities. Apart from spending quality time, they were like feeling guilty of generating trash. So they were very responsible in the sense not just cleaning up the area and then probably thinking of alternatives for all those things. How to avoid litter. That's when probably I also thought it has to be scaled up to a greater level. And then I started this group called Bengaluru Bloggers. It was just initially, to be honest, it was me, my daughter, and probably two, three members from my family. But vlogging per se, since I was into running, I used to see a lot of events wherein, unfortunately, a lot of trash was also getting generated in the name of events. Let me give a practical example of the latest event that happened just 2 days back in Bangalore. That was TCS 10K. More than 20,000 plus runners joined. Well, yes, on a large scale event like that, a lot of planning needs to be done in terms of managing the waste, managing people, and all that stuff. But fortunately, in a city like Bangalore, there are multiple options to organize those kind of high scale events wherein we have a lot of cutlery bags. One, to avoid litter. Second, to create awareness on not generating trash at the very first instance. Probably, if they had taken advice from a couple of even zero waste practitioners like SWMRT or anyone of us, it would have been better. Having said that, probably they'll hopefully they'll learn from us and replicate good things in coming years. But yeah, coming to the main point of blogging, just about a decade back, since I was into regular running as well, even now on weekends I try to spend most of my time for physical fitness and all that stuff. So I saw in one of the big events at Cupman Park, there were more than 3,000 plus runners, and there was so much of trash that is getting generated in the process of getting the event done, especially water bottles, Tetra packs, and all that stuff. That's when, out of my own curiosity, I started picking up all the garbage. It was just from bare hands. I saw some few plastic covers en route. I started using them as bags, started putting up all the trash. While some of them started clapping for that, some of them were laughing at me, and some of them thought I'm part of the event committee wherein I'm trying to clear the trash. But at the same time, I was in the running attack. I had my shoes, gear, and all that stuff. So probably they were confused like why is it running and at the same time picking up the trash. After the event, all of us assembled for pictures and all that from breakfast. Then many people started coming towards me and started clapping me, understanding what is that you're doing. Are you part of the running committee and all that stuff? That's why I spoke about blogging for the first instance. So blogging basically is a Swedish term which is combination of two words, plocka, which means pick up, and OG is from the word job. So you pick up trash over a job. To put it in a simple term, it's PLOG, pick litter on the go. You're walking, jogging, you get to pick up trash. Well, the beauty of this I observed is it not only burns calories, it burns our ego as well. I keep saying this often. The reason is you're picking up somebody else's trash. It's not just me, you're picking up somebody else's trash. Probably I put it in the right way. If not me, who else? Because we get to see so much of trash. You go to any tourist spot anywhere in India, unfortunately, there's so much of trash. Well, this is actually originated from Sweden. Unfortunately, even there, there's so much of trash. But over there, they literally get into jog and probably they'll find lesser trash. But here, it's more of a walk, I would say, because every 50 meters, every 100 meters, you'll find a lot of trash. Probably in more cleaner cities or more cleaner countries, you can literally plog when the trash is lesser. But here, unfortunately, it has to be PLALK to pick litter on the walk. So there's so much of trash. Yeah, that's when we actually started speaking about it. Then after a couple of days, then people started messaging me. They saw some post on Facebook. They said, "Do you want to join?" And then some of them also started calling me saying, "Hey Raj, there's so much of trash in our area. Why don't you come and clear it?" You're getting my point? It was more like an insult as well. They're just saying there's so much of trash. Why don't you get your team and clear it? We'll pay for it. It literally struck me at what is that he saying. For a minute, I felt bad also. They were thinking they were like, alternate for power karmikas or activists. But then, I took it in a positive way. I said, okay, definitely, I'll also join you. Just that make sure that you also get your family and friends. Only on that commitment, I'll join you. You're getting my point, Ananya? So it was more like, inclusion of them as well because it's their concern equally. It's not just mine, it's everybody's concern of trash. They had a lot of garbage. They say, hey, there's so much of garbage, why don't you join? Definitely, I'll join. Make sure that you also join. That's when the entire community blogging started slowly over a period of time, wherein we said, we will join you wherever you are. We will only arrange you gloves and bags, and then you'll have only one condition is you should join us. You should spend some quality time for us. And you used to pick up, say, we used to spend about half an hour to 45 minutes. Whatever trash was generated, we used to put it in the nearest bin. But then, over a period of time, more and more people started joining. It was more like bigger activity. Some of the running organizers, event organizers, also started reaching out to us. Hey, why don't you guys join us for a blog? Because people knew the word blog, they started calling, why don't you join us for a blog? But then I said, it's not blog, it's blog. Slowly, that's when I think the revolution of blogging started. Thanks to many other bigger cities also started adopting it. And the campaign of Swachhbharat also was kicking on simultaneously on social media. That's when I would say blogging became famous. I started realizing it's not just Bengaluru bloggers. I think we need to scale up to pan India level. Fortunately, I was working in a German company wherein I used to travel across South and West India. So I used to go to different cities in India. I thought it should not be just Bangalore. We should make it a pan India movement. That's when we started this Indian Bloggers Army in 2018 to be precise. And simultaneously, there was also India Plogman. That become a big game changer in terms of fitness industry only because blogging got embraced by most of the running groups across the nation. Even as part of Fit India campaign with Swachhbharat and all that stuff, they also started including blogging as part of their activities. I would say that 2018 was a big game changer in the entire concept of blogging.
Yeah, that's a really inspiring story. How you trying to build blogging as a movement, right? So how has that journey been like, making blogging a movement?
Initially, as I said, when few of us used to go for blogs, people used to laugh at us. I just took my little daughter for a park. We were having fun over there, and then I told her, let's start picking up the trash in and around the park. While she was picking up the trash, a couple of them were trying to, be far from us because they thought, "Arey, they are doing some dirty work of picking up the trash." And then we literally continued, and after a while, uh, so two, three other kids started joining us. They also joined us, picked up some trash, and then people clapped for her. That's when I felt really happy because initially you will always have that people running away from you, thinking that there's something bad that's happening. It's garbage and all that stuff. And then there was one of the events in school wherein they asked children to come up in their best attire as like doctors, teachers, something of their own choice. But what I did was we made sure that our doctor acted as a Paura Karmika. as a rack picker, something which probably nobody in the history would have done it. And making your kid act as a power of family for a rack picker. Uh, the moment we took this decision, of course, the activity went on really well. The teachers and students, so many of them appreciated, and they also said nobody had done it in the past. It was so thoughtful of you to come up with that concept of creating awareness in that way. They are also equally warriors, fact pickers, right? But then we wanted to clearly convey this message. They are very very important part of the sustainability platform. That was again one big moment, where I would say, which will go a long way in creating awareness.
How can someone how can someone start a blog actually? Suppose someone is interested, wow, blogging, okay, that's an interesting idea. I want to try it. So what advice would you give a person who would like to start blogging? How can they go about it?
Good question. So many a times, people get to see about it. They also want to do, but for whatever reasons, they remain backside and they say that unless somebody else takes the lead, they don't want to do it. So we have provided a platform where people can take up blogs anywhere in India. We also, at times if it's a bigger blog, we also provide them necessary accessories like gloves and bags. Yeah, just to start, anybody can just blog. All they need is a little bit of time and the energy. Probably one bag and one glove is all you need. Get into a public spot, start creating awareness. Initially, it has to be solo blogs, I would say. The reason is it'll actually clear away all your myths and doubts that you have on your own self. Arey, what will people think about me? What will happen if somebody else sees and thinks me bad about whatever I'm doing and all that stuff? Probably yes. If you can do a solo blog, that will be really great. Having said that, there are people who don't want to do solo blogs. They can definitely join us on weekends. We have blogs almost every weekend in the last 7 years. It's more than 680 plus 690 plus blogs in the last 6 7 years plus 40 different cities. So as a matter of fact, we're there in all the social media, and anybody can join us on the weekends. Coming to permission, all that. Generally, if you're doing a solo blog, you don't need any permissions as such. As long as you are not creating any nuisance, just pick up trash. Don't argue with anybody. Pick up trash and put them in the bins, or put them in a bag and then hand it over to the nearest garbage collection center. This is a simple way of doing it. Otherwise, join community blogs wherein you get to know more about blogging. Also, the bigger aspect of getting permissions done, handing over the waste to the right recyclers or DWCC garbage collection centers. That's a broader perspective of getting things done on a large scale. Many a times, a lot of corporates also reach out to us when we do an exclusive blog for them, especially in areas like lakes, to create awareness and probably make a sustainable change. Yeah, to put it in simple words, uh, fortunately, blog doesn't need a bigger permission per se. It just needs a little bit of time and inclination of yours.
And if suppose someone wants to start a blog at a little larger scale, so how do you think they can, what materials are really needed to ensure safety, and then how can we source them sustainably, these materials?
Well, fortunately, for an activity like blog, as I said, very very basic things that are needed are reusable glove. Again, we don't use any disposable gloves. The whole concept of blogging is not just to pick up trash, but not to generate trash. Probably if you one joins our blog, they'll get to know the whole objective of entire blogging is not picking up whole trash, but to identify ways to reduce it. I will give you a classic example of Coorg marathon. It was more than 21 kilometers of blog. When I did, I was more than happy that I was able to cover that long distance. But fortunately, the bigger thing is lesser trash over there. Even in the span of say 3 hours that I spent for blogging, I could find hardly 4 5 bags of trash. The reason is people are committed to not to generate trash. So for me, that's a happier blog than any of the biggest blogs wherein we have cleared more than tons and tons of garbage. It was not. To give you a practical example, for me, clearing one bag of trash gives more happiness than clearing 150 bags of trash. The reason is I'm finding lesser trash there. That means it gives me more happiness. So technically, I would say for me, I want to fail as a blogger. The more and more I fail, the more and more happy I am. So people, please join us to make me a failure. That's my humble request. I keep saying this because every time we blog, we are not only picking up the trash, we are also burning calories at the same time. For me, the happiest vlog is the vlog wherein there are hundreds of people who get into a walk and a jog and don't find any trash and come back happily saying, "Hey, we didn't find any trash." For that to happen, we need to do multiple vlogs. It cannot happen just on one day. Probably, it will take another decade or two to have a literally a zero waste vlog.
Yeah, that's true. I've been to one of your blogs as well, and
Okay.
yeah, how you actually help the people in the blog understand how take a pledge to actually reduce waste in their own lives. And I also see you share some catchy slogans and posters
Yeah.
with the with the trash you collect and blogs. So you have different ways of reaching out to people and sensitizing people. Could you talk more about
Yeah.
that? How do you actually encourage people to live more consciously?
Okay. Yeah. So initially, when we used to do vlogs, it was just smaller number of people who were joining us. Over a period of time, the army grew, and then we have active bloggers across many other cities. The biggest way of reaching out to new people was, for us, fortunately, it was just WhatsApp. And over a period of time, most of the media reached out to us. Every fortnight, there will be one or an article about these kind of cleanups. So we are blessed that people have recognized across India. But yeah, the biggest way to reach out to people is talk to them in their language. Fortunately, I'm a polyglot. I can speak 6 to 7 languages. Personally, I can speak 6 to 7 languages. Secondly, I try to connect with the words which they feel like, which they use in the normal, regular communication. So I relate to movies and cricket, something which most of us are passionate about. So I use those jingles and lines and then put them into posters. I think that was the best way of reaching out to many of them. I think creating fun in sustainability platform, something is always challenging, right? Sustainability, the moment you talk about sustainability, people want to run away. They think, hey, that's going to be a boring subject or something of that sort.
Yeah, it
But
can become preachy also. Yeah.
absolutely. But that's where I think Indian Bloggers Army stands out. When we say it's going to be more of fun, people not listen to the words like sustainability, blah, 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 but then they're doing what they're doing. They're supposed to act on sustainability, but I don't use the word sustainability. Many, many times I try to avoid it, especially in the blog. I try to put them in a simple, simple language. So something which they can understand. They actually act on sustainability, just that they don't know they're acting on sustainability. Then over a period of time, they'll realize they've been doing a great job. I'll give you classic examples of many bloggers in our team. More than 50 plus blogs. They don't carry any real disposables. They create change in their own office levels. They ensure that their friends also don't carry cutlery. So the bigger change is happening every day in the team. That's something which I'm proud about. And secondly, most of the youngsters do join us every weekend, especially if you see there'll be more than 50 to 75 students joining us. That's where the momentum is gaining up because they relate to it faster, they understand things in a simple way, and we make it more of fun. Volunteering is all about fun because the moment you're ready to volunteer, it means you're ready to give your time. If they're giving us time, we'll have to ensure that the entire time is utilized in a proper way, keeping it a fun element as well. I think that would be the USP of Indian Flowers Army, getting them involved in a funny way.
Very true. Like making it fun is the most important thing, and that makes it more natural also to be a part of
True.
all of these
Yeah, yeah.
events. What else you do
That's
to
why if
have
you
fun?
observe,
Yeah,
that's why if you observe in the pledge, the last line that we use on the rejoice. You've got to rejoice about whatever you're doing. If you're not happy with what you're doing, be it a blog or any sustainable activity, please don't do it. The moment you're not enjoying it, there's something wrong. You're not supposed to forcibly do anything. It's not just blog. I'm not talking only about blog. Any volunteering activity that you take up, if you're not enjoying it, there's no point in doing it. And you will have to connect with that. That's the reason we start with rethink, refuse, then reduce, reuse, and remove, respect, finally rejoice. If there is no rejoice element in it, there's something that is missing. You do an activity and you get bored, you don't feel like joining in the future, that means it's not connecting you. Probably you're not connected to the cause. That's- So not just the blogs that we talk about all kinds of sustainable. We also encourage any other group that joins us. We make sure that they are tagged, they are collaborated, because it's all about volunteering. So the moment it's volunteering, that means you got to speak openly about any other support that you're getting. That's the reason why I think you think of any collaborator in the city, they're there with us. So we're also there with them. because it's all a collaborative effort.
Absolutely, collaborative effort is the way to go. What else would you like to talk about engaging with people? And what does
Yeah,
volunteering mean to you actually? Yeah.
I would call it as entertainment. It's not just entertainment; it's fun and entertainment with a twist, sustainable entertainment. I would say it can, and I say voluntary. It's not just blog. Again, I'm being very clear. Any activity for sustainable. For example, if you're creating an awareness of sustainable education, even there you can have fun. For example, whenever we go, we say the first line we start after talking about sustainable. Say, "Isala cup namdena." They instantly connect with that because that's a jingle that's used by RCB. The moment I say all of us let's hold the cup and say Isala cup namde, they just laugh and they literally connect with the cause. So, or for that matter, if you are doing any activity on say sustainable mobility, or you can always create fun in that. Say when you're going, stop in between, clear the litter on the trees, uh, remove the posters from the trees. While you are cycling, you can just stop wherever you find a poster on a tree, remove it. So it's not just cycling. You always engage into some other activity also. The moment you're doing only one activity, probably you get bored. Unfortunately, in this current generation, even a reel which is more than 3 minutes, people don't watch it. Correct. That's the kind of time everybody has. If people don't have time to spend, so if you want to do an activity for 1 hour, you can't have anything only just one activity. You'll have to engage them into multiple ways to ensure that the entire productivity is taken care of. So that's what
Great.
volunteering
Yeah.
is for me. Being in the moment,
Awesome.
enjoying it, and then probably if you're connected, you'll definitely be a lifetime volunteer.
Yeah, very rightly said. So you'd like to talk more about being a cupman
Yeah.
and creating sustainable menstruation.
Yeah. The reason why I feel like talking about this is, if there can be a Spider-Man, He-Man, Superman, why not a Cupman? That's how we started this entire concept of Cupman. Because we all know there's always a Spider-Man. People always endorse those kind of personalities. Like a He-Man, you want to be Superman. That's all general psychology of the students, or for that matter, anyone is. You always relate to somebody who's super powerful. So we also had Padman who was very famous. But then, we had to move to the next level. If there can be a Padman, why not a Cupman? That's how we started this jingle. And then over a period of time, whenever we used to create awareness on sustainable menstruation, we started talking about it, breaking the taboos. Even all the girls and boys around us openly talk about it. Pose with cups. I wanted to ensure that it has to be a public event, not just a closed room activity. Because if men get beard, women menstruate. It's as simple as that. As simple as that. It's a biological activity which happens naturally for any woman. So, like the way men get beard, women menstruate. As simple as that. So, to keep that simple, we had to make sure that it has to be a public event, not just a closed room activity. That's when we started creating awareness, especially during the COVID, wherein people used to get a lot of food and all that stuff. Unfortunately, quite a many women were missing out on sustainable options for nutrition. That's when we started giving them cloth bags, started talking about it, and then over a period of time, I think in the last 4 5 years, we have distributed not less than, I'm being very minimal about this, not less than 2000 plus cloth bags. It's about 500 plus paper cup. 1 second. It should be more than 1000 mention cup and more than 3000 4000 bags because we even collaborated with BPMP Pora Karmikas across many wards. So the numbers are huge. We are happy about the numbers, especially in this because every cup that you buy lasts for 6 to 7 years. That means you are reducing that many kind of disposals. So yeah, I think that's again one big change that has happened. Many people are trying to come openly and talk about sustainable industries. That's something which we are really proud about.
Hmm. Yes, thank you for sharing that. Our previous episode was about sustainable menstruation,
Oh,
and
yeah, I think I saw that. Yes,
yeah,
I saw
and so it's great
post.
how not only women but many other people in the community are a part of this movement as well, and
Yeah,
it's really heartening to see.
thanks.
Let's talk more about RobinHood Army. So, what
Uh,
is RobinHood Army? What is it like to be a Robin? What does it mean?
the beauty of RobinHood Army is There's nothing like hierarchy over there. Everybody is a Robin. Uh, there's no other tagline there. There's no leader. There's just only probably a spoke. Otherwise, everybody is a Robin. And it's a pan India platform, completely zero funded. And the kind of work that we're doing across the nation is beyond words. Started by one Sunil in Delhi, and they have the presence across more than 10, 15 countries. And cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad, Delhi, you name it, there are Robins. Fortunately, uh, I joined Robin Army, I think 8 years back, if I'm not wrong. So there's never a go back. So literally, I would say almost every weekend we do some or the other. So though not physically, I make sure that my team is there. Many of our bloggers are also part of Robin Army. So it's all just collaboration. Many bloggers do join Robin Army. Many Robins do join Bloggers Army. So we have done a lot of collaborated activities also. The beauty over is, one is just you need to spend your quality time, and you'll get abundance of joy because you are reaching out to the less fortunate people. You are reaching out to them, understanding their problems, and make them smile just by giving food. That's something which is really appreciable because of the fact that there are millions who don't get basic food also. And the sustainability angle in this is something which I'm really proud about because you are ensuring that food is not going waste. You are ensuring that resources are not going waste. Every time a food is donated, it's not just a charity, it's a sustainability angle also, right? The deeper way of looking at RobinHood Army is it's one of the best sustainable platforms in terms of food waste management. Think in the longer term, imagine there are, say, I'll just give you a classic example of 2 days back, Friday night, not Friday, today is what? Tuesday. Saturday night or Sunday night, I got a call around 8 o'clock, 8:30 saying, they have 5 kgs of cake and roughly about 100 plus uh, quantity of, I think they had more than 100 varieties of sweets and then 5 kgs of cake and all that. But it was 8:30. Obviously, no Robin can go at that time, pick up all the way. It was very far off. All we did was scouted tons out and then started distributing. I mean, the kind of happiness that you get. And there are many instances when even at 11 o'clock we will get a call saying that there's a food for say 100 plus people. We don't know what to do. Fortunately, there are robins who can get it executed even at that time. Unfortunately, as a matter of fact, people still don't know that there's Robin Hood. Only probably a fraction of people know it. Probably not even 10%, I would say. Probably 2-3% of Bengaluru knows it. 2-3, maybe 1% of India knows it. We need to spread more about Robin Hood Army. The kind of amazing work every day they're doing. It's beyond words, I would say. So more and more awareness is needed on Robin Hood Army also. But at the same time, the challenge is to have more and more volunteers. It's not that easy to go and pick up food in the late night at 11 o'clock, get it picked, distribute it. It takes a lot of time and effort. So you need commitment which is beyond words. So yeah, but yes, the beauty of getting an activity done and then enjoying it in person is beyond words. So fortunately, we have been part of this for more than 8 years. I think every weekend we do clothes, toys distribution along with Robins. Almost every weekend I get nothing less than, I'm repeating the word, nothing less than 50 to 100 pairs of clothes and toys we get often every week. Thanks to the blogging community that is there across city. Many of the bloggers reach out to us saying, I have clothes, I have toys, I have books. So every weekend it's always buzz with activities. And it's all like collaboration work. Robin and Rami and bloggers are.
Yeah, and this Robin Hood Army or the work you do, right? It's also an important part of sustainability because it's like
Absolutely.
things which should have otherwise gone to waste, uh, like we are actually giving it a new life.
Right.
So to people who really need it, and it's about doing it with the human touch also, right? Spending time with
That's it.
the people.
There's also a charity angle in it. And
Yeah.
secondly, Ananya, what happens here is most of these lands, unfortunately, the education levels are also very, very low. You get an opportunity to interact with them, spend your time on educating them also. In fact, the whole concept of Robin Hood Army started as they wanted to educate more and more people, but the best way to reach out to the slum people was through food. So using food as a platform, uh, there's also something called Dragoon Academy, wherein every Sunday they give classes for the less fortunate people. So If your stomach is hungry, if your stomach is empty, you will not study. As simple as that. An empty stomach cannot read. So the first way is to reach out to them, ensuring that at least they have basic food, and then give them education. So that's how the entire concept of Robin Hood Army emerged. I think it's one of the best ways to reach out to the people and give them more education.
Yeah, very true. Uh, and it's about and connecting the green dots, right? As you keep saying. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's our
So
tagline.
yes, connecting the green dots. That's a beautiful tagline. So would you like to share any more experiences or touching experiences or memorable things from your time with volunteering with Robin Hood Army?
Well, quite a many. I think, the kind of joy and the kind of smile we get to see physically at times and over the pictures is beyond words. But yeah, there are quite a many instances, wherein people from abroad, people from other cities reached out saying, hey, we have this kind of stuff. What do we do? Can we do something in other city also? So that's when we connect to the people of that respective area, state blogging or Robin Army. We connect to those kind of volunteers who are active in that cities to get the things done. So whatever you see on daily basis in Bangalore has actually gone across the cities as well. That's one thing. And secondly, as I said, I can quote at least 30, 40 corporates who actually, joined us over the years for the blogging, and they've actually switched from disposables to reusables. Imagine a corporate company which has, say, 10,000 employees, and there are about, say, 10,000 into 3, 30,000 paper cups being used per day into 1 year, actually switched from disposables to reusables. Just quantify the amount of disposables we have reduced into 30 corporates. Into there are, I think, 90% of our bloggers who have joined. They make sure that the entire family activities, any activity in their house, respective be it a birthday or any gathering, they don't use any disposables. Probably these you cannot quantify on a daily basis in a paper or something. That's beyond words, which I really, really feel proud of. So many people have switched from disposable to reusers. Any of the gathering in our family, for that matter, I don't remember any instance where we have used a single water bottle. And obviously, there are multiple events happening across the city every day. And many of the families will have any of like birthdays, anniversaries, you name it. There are conferences everywhere. We have reduced it. That's something which I'm really proud about. And yes, getting recognized by central government.
Yes, very beautiful. And the time you spend with people would be really valuable and enriching for your life as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, building a network is crucial for successful initiatives like Robin Hood Army. So, actually, how do you go about building that network with and networking with donors, volunteers, beneficiaries, all of that? How do you actually go about it?
Well, YouTube or probably Army, they have a very strong backend system. What I understand is, right from donors to volunteers, they clearly segregate. For example, if you're a first-time volunteer, they have a separate way of tracking you. If you are a multiple activity volunteer, then they have a separate group. They have area-wise groups, and the way it's managed is pretty good. You also actually get a count of how many kgs of food has been distributed, how many kgs of trash has been reduced in terms of avoiding many events. I'll give you a classic example of a couple of events wherein we also made sure that apart from collecting the food, we make sure that everything that we use is also reusable. Like we have quite a many Robins who also make sure that the entire activity is held disposable. That's something in a bigger connect. You're not just arranging food, but at the same time carrying your own cutlery, carrying your own tumblers and plates, getting them used for this kind of items beyond words. So, in a way, Robin Hood Army has a clear structure of ensuring that the tasks are assigned in a practical way. When if you're a new Robin, you're treated in a different way in terms of organizing the volunteering activity for Robin Hood Army. Similarly, donors are also clearly communicated that these are our timelines. It's a zero funded group. We have our own plus and minus points. If we can't distribute, we'll also give you the nearest location wherein you as a donor can come and distribute it. And then they'll connect the dots up and arrange the nearest Robin to get the things done. In a way, I would say it's very, very structured. Kudos the team which is working on the back. I'm not part of the backend team. I spend more on volunteering as such.
Hmm.
But the backend team is doing a fabulous job, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice to know. So, how can actually someone organize a maybe a collection drive or a donation drive, all of that? So, how can someone go about it actually? What all
So
is involved
just
in the process?
yeah, so basically two ways. One is reach out through WhatsApp, just drop us a message. We'll guide you in all the possible ways. Second is reach out to us on social media. It's simple. The Indian Bloggers Army. They can find it on any of the social media, Facebook, Insta, and Twitter. Drop us a message. I assure within maximum 4 to 5 hours you get a response, and then we'll guide how to go about it. And as I said, let me give you the numbers. Every week I'm talking. Every week at least close to 150 to 200 pairs of clothes are distributed. You can just imagine the numbers. So, and this is something which is happening for the last 6 plus years consistently. So we have loyal donors database. The moment they say, okay, it's going to Plogger's Army or Robin Army, rest assured, it gets distributed. We also make sure that the picture is also shared on the same day, so that you get kind of, feel happy that, your thing has gone into a person who actually needs it. Just to give an example, day before yesterday, a student was actually looking out for a laptop for 3 months. So the moment I got a message, within 2 days, we were able to arrange a laptop. We did not spend a single rupee. We did not spend a single rupee, but laptop per se is very, very costly, right? You can't give a laptop to everybody. But then the kind of connect we had, we made sure that, the student gets a laptop, and the joy is beyond words, correct? The kind of immense happiness she gets, and the kind of emotion that I get after I get the picture of the student using the laptop is beyond words. During COVID, we are nothing less than 45 to 50 laptop within 3 months, 4 months, and not even single rupees spent. Again, I'm talking about the money aspect because it's more about connecting the dots, getting this refurbished. All areas to encourage refurbishment. So that's the beauty about the entire volunteer. You're not spending money, because money, yes, is needed, but then the bigger things are connecting the dots, how you can get things repaired, refurbished. All these are very, very essential part of sustainability. Entire success story of Bloggers Army is lying on pre-love. 90% of the stuff that we give is all pre-loved. Anything you think of, right from laptop to phone to toys to books, everything is pre-loved. So we don't want to encourage buying new stuff for any people as such.
Really important perspective. Using the things we have and refurbishing them rather than creating new things and wasting more resources.
Very true.
So how can actually we started, right? What advice would you give to someone who wants to be involved in such initiatives?
I want to be very, very simple. Yes, just find out the passion which you are keen about. It need not be a blog or RobinHood Army. It can be anything of your choice. There are multiple ways to do something which you like. There are people who love to talk about sustainable mobility. Probably there are people who love to work on trees, right? So one urge probably try to understand what is that connects you better, and then reach out to us. Will you put you to the right people set of people? You need not join for. I again say you need not be a volunteer only for Bloggers Army. I'll give you all the platform to choose something which you are passionate about, and then you become an active volunteer. We are more than happy. It's not just in a blogging. The whole idea is to create an army of sustainable champions. Fortunately, we have the connect with any of the groups that are working on sustainability. All I do is connect them, and then they continue. I'm more than happy. At like I would say, generally we keep saying we are like human catalysts connecting the green dots. Sometimes we are catalyst. We cannot be omnipresent, right? I can't be there everywhere. So I connect to the right platform, then they take it forward. As I said, there are many people in other cities who have done more than 100 blogs. The initial connect came through us, but then they are doing it on their own. That's something which is more sustainable for me. That is creating an army of change makers. What we want looking at.
Yes, that's what we want to also do. Like building that thing within our own communities. What can we do? Like
True.
being a more active part of our own community, our own people, and that's a really effective way to go about it.
Very
And
true.
yes, thank you for sharing that people can reach out to you to learn about different volunteering opportunities as well.
Absolutely.
Yes. So, how has volunteering changed you as a person?
But quite a lot, I would say. I mean, initially just on a lighter note, I was called as Plog Raj earlier. COK. Because I was promoting Coke like anything. I was into beverage company. I was into marketing for Coca-Cola. So the kind of promotion I used to do for Coke, people used to call me as Coke Raj. Now from Coke Raj to Plog Raj, the journey has been amazing. From the guy who used to sell a lot of plastic bottles to the guy who is literally away from the plastic. I think the journey has been incredible, I would say.
What are the common misconceptions people have about volunteering? How do you like to address them?
Generally, first, probably what I observed is many a time people want to do just that, one, that fear of, going all the way and taking that lead is there. People don't want to take that lead. They're more like laid back, but yes, given a chance, they'll be more than happy to join if it is done in and around their area. The challenge is on the logistics. If it's close by, you feel like joining it. Second is, if you have people known to you in the network who are doing this activity. If you don't know anybody, probably you may give it a skip. Array, yaar, I don't know what they will do. Not sure it's going to be a good activity or not. There are so many misconception doubts whether this is going to be a really good activity. Many a times, we have observed that, probably the turnout will be lesser only when, you don't know people who are part of the activity. Second is, it's very, very far. These are only two excuses. Otherwise, I think people are more than happy to join for physical volunteering. And in terms of offline volunteering, like creating awareness, connecting the dots, people don't do that unless you know them personally. That personal connect, if it's not there, probably I'll just give an example. If Ananya doesn't know Plog Raj, even if I show or share her multiple posters, she may think twice to send it because she doesn't know Plog Raj. You're getting my point. It's as simple as that. Unless you've worked with them, been with them for some time, you'll not spread the word about it. So the urge for each one of us who want to join volunteering is be there physically, join 2, 3 activities, then you decide how to go out of it. You can create your own army or you can join with multiple groups. It's all multiple options are available. That's what I would say. I think being physically on ground, joining for 2, 3 activities, be it RobinHood Army or Bloggers Army, that will actually make a difference. Then you create your own thing, probably understand what is that works out well for you. You can customize it accordingly. There's nothing like standard template as such.
Hmm.
One can create their own templates. As I said, there are many Robins bloggers who do on their own and then they just share us pictures. The whole idea is not just for example, Ananya may stay in North Bangalore, whereas many of the bloggers may stay in South Bangalore. Practically, it's not possible every weekend to join and do activities everywhere, right? It's impractical. That's the reason why having those multiple spokes, having multiple points for doing this kind of activities needed. For that to happen, you need multiple volunteers at different levels, which we have a platform to.
Great. So, what is your final message for our audience about the importance of taking action for a greener, more sustainable world and how everyone can be a part of this, no matter how small, and have fun in the process?
Absolutely. So again, I'd like to be very, very simple, not being very, very preachy. Just find out that passion in you. What is that activity that connects you? Then take it to the next level. There's nothing like nobody can stop you. The moment you start liking an activity, the moment you start enjoying it, identify that cause and take it forward. There are thousands of people. The whole planet is ready to help you out. How passionate and how inclined you are towards that cause is what matters. If your inclination level is say beyond words, there are thousand people ready to support you. If your inclination is say just to spend 1 or 2 hours in a week, that's absolutely fine too. There are people to support you. The biggest key is identify that something which is probably I would say that bug in you, which bugs you literally to move to the next level. Get that bug out of your soul. That's what I would say.
Great. Thank you so much, Plog Raj, Cupman,
Thanks, Ananya.
a
Thanks so
man of
much.
many names. Yes, thank you so much for being a part of this and sharing, having this useful conversation. And
Pleasure. My pleasure.
yeah, it's my pleasure to talk to you. And I love your energy whenever we meet you. The energy and the enthusiasm is really so amazing.
Thank
So
you.
thank
Thank
you
you,
so
Army.
much for
Take
doing
care.
what you do. Hello, friends. Here's a journaling prompt for you. Reflect on what are the activities that you really enjoy doing that can help the earth or bring a smile on someone's face. Can be absolutely anything. Perhaps offering food and water to any other living beings. Spending time with people at an old age home. Doing art with children. Being a part of community drives like cleanup drives or planting and taking care of saplings and trees. And of course, there doesn't have to be there's no one perfect way of volunteering. Find out what's happening in your neighborhood, in your city, and just try out different things, explore, have fun with it. Because volunteering, it can give you so much satisfaction and happiness, help you make so many more friends, give you meaning and purpose. And it's just a nice thing or fun thing to do. And of course, Plog Raj has generously offered that you can contact him at the Indian Plog Army on Instagram, and then he'll also guide you to different volunteering opportunities. So what are you waiting for? Happy volunteering! I'd love to know your thoughts and takeaways and your experiences. Connect with us on social media at GoGreenGuruSS. Write to us on email, contact@GoGreenGuru.com. Do subscribe to our channel and stay in touch. Kudos, take care.